welcome back to the Captain Horace Center of Excellence for the first match of Match Day 7. And it's between the Stars of the East, Harbour View, and Tivoli Gardens.
They're playing a 4-4-2 system, and you suspect the diamond there. Morgan and Thompson will have to tuck in not to have numbers down in the middle of the park to try and nullify the three.
And we start off this encounter with Harbour View. Match Day 7 here at the Captain Horace Center of Excellence. We do see Match Day 7, and here is a quick attack for Harbour View, collected by Watkins. So, of course, we know Harbour View can start lively, but normally, you know, that's not strange waters for Tivoli Gardens. They normally fight back Tivoli Gardens once someone opens the scoring, their opponent opens the scoring, so not strange for them.
And they would have seen how Harbour View managed the game or mismanaged their last encounter, and they conceded late. So even if they were to go behind, you feel Tivoli still harbour hopes of getting something from this. But I suspect, as we've said, Harbour View, I expect that trend to continue, where they've scored in every game so far this season. So I suspect Tivoli will have to find two if they're going to win this, or at least two.
At least two. We know that they can score at least one every game. Harbour View, that ball sent inside for Detroit Gray, and he took it down nicely, but he was in an offside position. Detroit Gray, 3 goals so far this season, 2 with the head.
Yes, he's been on the score sheet, so he's hungry for more. I think he would feel like he wants more than 2 goals. Or should be on more than 2 goals so far, so he'll be certainly testing the back line of this Harbour View team.
We'll be looking for an attacker that can attack that defensive line that has been one of the astute, and a shot at goal, and covered up by Q1 Watkins. So the first shot of the game falling to Harbour View.
It's good anticipation from Zimenez.
Good anticipation, and the referee, Dion Parchment, said it's a foul committed.
Daniel Parchment, the referee here, a very highly respected referee. They're the same, in fact, the entire set of officials today in terms of Daniel Parchment and Anderson. These 3 were part of, or they officiated in the semi-finals Gold Cup between Mexico and Canada. So we have a good match, and we have very good officials on show. I'm also proud to see them because Daniel Parchment and Anderson are both from Trelawney. Parchment, a teacher, and also a pace bowler, and Anderson works with the National Water Commission.
So some versatility there where sports is concerned.
Yes, so certainly he's a sportsman. He plays the game of football as well, referee Parchment.
One thing that I also noticed, Dwight, is the exclusion of Tommy Lawrence. He started the first couple of games. We see Harbour View with a chance, and collected by Watkins, slipped.
I think that was the best decision there from Williams. Had Chong to his right, and he felt there was an opportunity to play Chong in, and went for the shot himself, and in the end scuffed it. Harbour View are going to have to really take their chances.
And now Harbour View go forward. Miscommunication between Akwasa Chung and Krista G. Daly. Just muscled off the ball. The referee says it was a foul by Akwasa Chung on Kemar Flemings. It will be a free kick for Tivoli Gardens.
Yeah, and we mentioned that earlier in our conversation pre-game, that you feel with these 2 young talented players in Daly and Chung, it's got to do a lot of work on the training ground, coaching staff and the players themselves to sort of develop that telepathic relationship in terms of understanding, because if they get that right, you feel it could be a dangerous duo.
That they can be. Of course, Akwasa Chung, leading goal scorer this season.
So far, Joe Blank in his last 2 games, he will feel that's a mini drought. So he'll want to get back on the score sheet. But we've heard the Tivoli coaching staff saying they feel that their central defenders today, Captain Barrington Price and Pennycook, should be able to handle the threat of Daly and Chong.
Now we see an attack going forward through Devroy Gray. It's still Devroy Gray. And it's still Devroy Gray. Tivoli Gardens send that one inside, and Lavelle Palmer dealt with it. So that was the first real attack for Tivoli Gardens. And they've now gotten a corner.
Yeah, I think that was an unforced error there by Harbour. I think it was Daly who attempted to play back the ball to be cleared, but just undercooked his pass. And in the end, just allowed Tivoli to press this corner.
Now the first corner of the game. Just waiting patiently. A couple of players in the box, and Daniel Parchment just restoring order. That ball sent inside the 18-yard box, and Barrington Price would want to at least put that one on target, and he's beside himself. The expression shows.
Yes, he felt he had a lot of time and space, and normally in football, given quality, time and space, normally results in quality. So would be disappointed with his effort just now.
Harding, he was hounded by Gray. And now Adine Pennycook. 22 versus 22. Tivoli trying to attack, but Harding doing some defensive work, puts that one into touch. Through for Tivoli Gardens.
That's both teams just looking to get a stronger hold on this one. No team really in command yet.
Of course, Lennox Russell will want to join the party of Krista J. Daly and Akwasa Chong. And you spoke about the drought with Akwasa Chong as well, but that was when you saw Krista J. Daly step up and get a couple of goals for Harbourview.
It's always important in games that, you know, if you're going to have a good team that is going to challenge for the championship in any tournament you're a part of, you feel your midfield will have to weigh in with some goals, because I mean that does put too much pressure on your front players and also make it easy for people to really shut you out of games, as we see play here on the just late on that one. It's been a bit clumsy.
Normally not a clumsy fella when it comes to tackles. Kasim Priestley, former of Kingston College player, and Rasheen Thompson coming into the lineup. The last time he was on the bench, ball swung inside the 18-yard box, dealt with routinely by Harbourview through Harding. Krista J. Daly, he's on the attack for Harbourview, ball sent forward, and now Harbourview have a chance. Dean Pennycook comes back, but that's just wide of the target. You saw Dean Pennycook running back to defend that one, and it seems to be a corner, so some good defensive work by Pennycook, showing some pace there.
Yeah, I think again I have to say, missed opportunity again for Harbourview, and again the play at the center of it in the first situation, and again it's Williams who broke and had a player to his right and chose not to pass. First it was Chong, now it was Daly, and then it was Daly.
Ball sent inside the 18-yard box and dealt with by Flemings.
Harbourview must be mindful. Those could be opportunities that they could come to regret in the end. And Williams have to be more mindful of what is going on around him and look to play more of a link-up play.
That was a very good pass by Krista J. Daly. Saw the run of Thompson, and now an opportunity for Tivoli Gardens, and it goes behind, and it will be another corner. This is the second corner for Tivoli Gardens, third in the game.
Yeah, it was Lavelle there really mopping up for Talbot, who you felt should have dealt with that one coming into the box. Didn't have much on it, just a simple ball into the box. He misread the trajectory of it, and that's where you have a partner in crime. That's about defending in pair, just being close enough to be able to cover his pressing defender.
just getting themselves ready to take this corner. Man to take it to Romain Boas, who has really cemented himself for the last 3 games in terms of starting in this Tivoli Gardens team. There's a man coming off the bench now. The young man is starting. Ball sent inside the 18-yard box. Taken by Tafari Chambers.
I think he's a welcome return to the between the sticks for Harbour View. Last week, really, Akeem Smith struggled with his handling. It's good, and it has a big effect too on how your defense line plays. They will play with more composure and calmness once they have a goalkeeper that they trust.
So they would need Tafari Chambers in between the sticks.
He has gone down now.
Fell down, and there was nobody around him, so I'm not sure as to the reason why he's down on the field.
Well, he's shaking the foot. I don't know. A lot of the play we've heard Coach Bernard talk about the wear and tear that this pitch is putting on the players, his players. I did ask him, Chris, about 85% of his team out there today would have played in every game so far. We look to see if there's anything else, if someone might have trotted on his foot, but when he went down there was nothing, and there was nothing in the play before. He collected okay, so it could be the heat coming out.
Normally we do see a lot of the players pouring cold water on their boots,
and there we have it, there, water being poured on it. The problem for him is that as the goalkeeper, the other players will be running about. He stands still a lot, and that's what's the effect on the goalkeeper. I remember I've seen, not the first time, I've seen a goalkeeper look to change their footwear as well in this league because of the heat coming out of the turf. So,
well, that's
definitely
exactly
one for concern.
Of course, that's exactly what was going on. And so early in the game, how long will they be able to stand it?
Oh, we'll see how long we'll continue to be here, but they're getting on with the business. Give them credit for that, these players.
Of course. Hardy decides to go back to his captain, Johnny Talbot. Talbot just calling his players in. And Tyrese Williams send it to Zimenez. Harbour View, that ball sent forward, trying to find Akwasa Chung, but Dean Pennycook just heads that one to Watkins.
Yeah, calmly dealt with there by Pennycook. Deveroy Gray play on the ground. I think he was caught there by Tyrese Williams as he came forward and both challenged for the ball. I think that's where kind of not maybe the two knees came together. So Gray just in some pain. I think, and we see Tyrese there coming over just to check. Nothing malicious we think took place there, but both knees you felt came together, and sometimes can be painful.
Of course, we see the replay again, and yeah,
just the studs. Well, on this occasion, the studs came in contact with his shin. I guess it was a bad touch by Williams in the first place, and trying to recover, just overextend himself. But Williams have been in the thick of things so far at 2 occasions. Williams at the center of it. And here's Daly. That was a good ball played through. Williams ran into the space, and you felt there was the opportunity trying to get the ball out. Maybe a chance to play Daly in, because Campbell was well ahead of Daly and making a recovery run towards goal in case he had to clear the line. Daly, had he gotten that pass, would have the goal gaping.
You have to give some credit to Dean Pennycook, who did just stuck his toe and got that crucial footing.
In all honesty, I just think Tyrese Williams made it too easy for him.
Aaron Elliott over to Rasheen Thompson. Ball sent forward now for Tivoli Gardens, and nobody able to meet it.
It went behind, wasn't a good cross. And we see Chambers going about his things. Was out last week, as we mentioned, and it was all about his attitude towards the team. Coach Bernard said he turned up late for a camp, and he had to recommit himself to the team. Obviously, Coach Bernard is quite pleased with his efforts in the past week.
Very good takedown by Jimenez. Now it's with Garth Stewart. Stewart over to Krista J. Daly, taken off the ball by Rasheen Thompson. He gets the ball now. Now it's with Devoy Gray. They're just patiently coming up into enemy territory. Now it's with Kamar Flemings. Flemings will send that one inside the 18-yard box, and it's still a shot at goal, blocked by Jimenez.
Yeah, I think that's where Coach Bernard spoke about them being a little bit more open, have a lot of attacking impetus in the middle of the park, and that all started with Daly being dispossessed, and Tivoli Garden was in that attacking third.
Tivoli Gardens will want to take advantage of that. Here's the corner now, swung inside the 18-yard box, headed at goal. But some defensive work by Kasim Priestley. Now it's with Krista J. Daly. It's Krista J. Daly, but intercepted routinely by Tikin Garnett. Bowers, his ball intercepted by Priestley. Priestley, ball sent over. That's a very good ball by Kasim Priestley. It's still Tyrese Williams of Harbour View, running himself into trouble, but some good defensive work by Dean Pennycook. Lennox Russell with a shot at goal, just wide of the target, and Harbour View continue to press.
Watkins was interested there for a moment, but always going wide. Harbour View they have been getting the breakaway. Tivoli have been committing players forward, and they look ripe for the counter, but Harbour View unable so far to make them pay.
Tivoli will be counting their lucky stars for a couple moments in this game. But Harbour View will have to be careful, because if they don't take their chances, they might be punished. Here's Rasheen Thompson for Tivoli Gardens, sent inside. And of course, goes behind. And it seems to be a corner for Tivoli Gardens. So both teams attacking so far.
It's quite clear too that Tivoli's target, Harding, as his position is where they're looking to exploit. Pretty much all the corners that they've won have come from that side of the field. Or Harding pushing high.
Ball sent inside the 18-yard box. That was not a good corner at all, and it dealt with by Lennox Russell. Very good to keep it in Akwasachong, but Tivoli Gardens regains possession. Bowers over to Flemings. Flemings just trying to control the game for his team, but taken off the ball nicely by Krista J. Daly. Now it's with Tyrese Williams. Tyrese Williams has the opportunity for Harbour View, and wide of the target again. Very good run by Tyrese Williams. That's his third opportunity for Harbour View, and he still can't put that one into the back of the net.
I think that one he was on his own and quite rightly went for it, and should have. Didn't execute the chip so well. But it was a good win by Krista J. Has been robbed of the ball a few times, but won that one, and then played in a beautiful ball that split the defense. And Campbell chasing back, but just a chip over the top. And a lot of times these players don't really practice this chip. They come into game and look to execute it, and in the end, just not able to get under it. The defender did come back and put some pressure, but you expected Williams to hit that target there. And the goalkeeper was beaten, Watkins. It was the right decision made by Williams. The execution, not good. But you feel Harbour View had 3 opportunities, and again Williams, the man who should have put Harbour View in front, or should have at least had an assist so far to his name.
Of course, Tyrese Williams is beside himself right now. Had some golden opportunities for Harbour View, and none of those opportunities have hit the target so far, and that was his best one for Harbour View. But like I said, you have to give some credit to Dean Pennycook. Showed some speed on him for 2 out of the 3 opportunities for Tyrese Williams. Devoy Gray of Tivoli Gardens, hounded by Harding, and he does foul Orlando Harding, and it will be a free kick for Harbour View. So Harbour View will have to convert those chances, and it was a very good run. As we see this play here, very good defensive work by Orlando Harding on Devoy Gray. Devoy Gray, the man to watch. Stewart over to Zimenez. It was a foul committed by Guard Stewart. And of course, Dion Harding just making his presence felt, just establishing his authority here in this game. Captain Price over to Campbell. Back to the captain. Bowers looking for Tivoli play and finding no one. They do regain possession. Ball over to Campbell. Campbell sends that one inside the 18-yard box. Sliding defensive effort by Ajani Talbot. Not happy with how his team have been defending so far.
Yeah, I think Williams again was the culprit there. He was caught in possession just a little bit too nonchalant with his play. But one of the features also of this Tivoli Gardens team that we've seen so far, with their free kicks, with their throw-ins, they're looking to restart the game very quickly to catch this Harbourview team out. And they often say in football, great players come alive when the ball is dead.
Right. Ball sent inside the 18-yard box. Dealt with again by Zimenez, and it will be another corner for Tivoli Gardens.
They've defended these corners fairly well so far, Harbourview. Want to remain concentrated, and with the opportunities that they have gotten at the other end, they would definitely want to ensure they do their defensive work, because it really would be salt into the wound if Tivoli were to score from this corner kick.
Ball sent inside again, collected this time by Tafari Chambers.
Just looking to get the game going quickly, but Harbourview had committed a lot of players in defense, so couldn't get that restart going well. So often in football, your goalkeeper is the catalyst for getting your team playing at a high tempo, getting that restart.
Priestley. Intercepted by Thompson. Borderland Harding wanted to receive that one, but
Harbourview players looking a bit legged there in terms of heavy leg. A lot of times they're caught in possession, not quick with their feet or providing passing lanes. And when you have that type of situation, you really need to get the goals. We're upon a time when I think we're almost approaching that first hydration break.
So a throw for Tivoli Gardens. So Tivoli Gardens starting brightly, but you would think that the best opportunity came for Harbourview. Ball swung inside the 18-yard box, dealt with by Zimenez, but they still have possession. Horatio Morgan tries to curl that one past Tafari Chambers, but just the height beating Tivoli Gardens, as we hear referee Dan Parchment just signaling for the first hydration break.
Yes, attempt there from Tivoli. At the moment, I felt Chambers might have been caught out just off his line, and Horatio Morgan there looking to just catch Chambers out. But pretty much you'd want to say best chances have gone to Harbourview, but Tivoli will feel like they're in this one because, again, down that right channel for Tivoli, Harbourview's left side where Arden is, they've gotten a few look-ins on that side, turning the Harbourview defence around. And you suspect for Coach Bernard it's going to be more than just hydration here in this break. A lot of talking to tactically and trying to get his players to put these chances away and get them to get lively in the game.
You don't want to rule the chances that you get, and Harbourview have gotten them. Well, I can tell you that a man like Jermaine Teddy Johnson, if he had gotten those chances, I can guarantee you that most of the times those would have been buried.
Yeah, you get the feeling he's a very good finisher, Teddy Johnson. But Harbourview too, and if you think back to what Coach Bernard said at the top of the game, he knows his players have really put in a shift since the start of the season, having rotated heavily, and he would want to make early changes to try and get his team freshened up. But without the goals, he can't really do that. Tivoli now must be thinking that they're really in this one, and they've weathered the early storm from Harbourview might just be thinking, this Tivoli Gardens team, that we're in this thing and we've dealt with pretty much what Harbourview has thrown at us, and we just need to get a goal.
Tivoli would have to stay focused if they want to get a chance to get 3 points. They would be leveled on points with Harbourview if they get 3 points here, as we see the conclusion of the first water break. But Harbourview still looking for that automatic qualifying spot.
And they want to cement themselves. It's really a situation where they want to solidify themselves. I think Harbourview about 4 points off the top of the table, and for that they will have the incentive to want to get closer. Can only go as high as second with a win today, Harbourview, and go ahead of here.
They would be just 1 point above Veer United, Harbourview, if they do get this win, and that would put them in the automatic qualifying spot.
Yeah, you look at the table from 1 to 8, it's very clustered, and all the way down to that point, teams with games in hand will feel like they have a chance in it. So you don't want to get sucked into that last minute battle for a place in the top 6.
Of course, Patchman just explaining to the target man, Tivoli Gray. And they swung inside the 18-yard box. Not dealt with routinely by Krista J. Daly. They still have possession. Rashawn Thompson over to Flemings. Flemings sends that one inside the 18-yard box. An opportunity for referee, and there is a call for a penalty. And the Tivoli Gray is not happy with that decision from Parchment.
I think it all started from Gray. His header was poor. It was a poor defensive header. He headed it down into the path of the Tivoli Garden player, and we see the call for handball. Hand was extended, but it was under pressure, so I don't know if he felt that the force that was applied to Lavelle Palmer might have caused him and his arm to go out. But there's a talking to with Anderson.
And the decision is a penalty. So an opportunity for Tivoli Gardens. The yellow card will be issued to Lavelle Palmer from referee Damian Parchment. Damian Parchment. So Tivoli Gardens have an opportunity to go ahead in this game versus Harbourview.
Yeah, hand was extended, and I think that's why assistant referee Anderson called over Damian Parchment. As we have another look here, I mean, he was under pressure, Lavelle, but just missed time his clearance. And yeah, with an extended arm, then you're going to get that call given. It's the second penalty that he would have given away, Lavelle Palmer. In this opening game, he did give away a penalty. Harbourview did come back to get a point in that game. They have come back twice from going behind this season. They've gone behind 3 times, lost a game, and drawn 2. Not won a game from trailing, so Chambers would want to stop them going behind.
The vice captain, Kemar Flemings, with an opportunity, and that is the first goal of the contest. Tafari Chambers did go the right way, but it wasn't good enough for Harbourview. And the Tivoli Gardens, they do go behind. Well, they do go ahead in this contest. So, with about 29 minutes gone, it is Tivoli Gardens leading Harbourview by a goal to 0.
Well, we talk about the fact that Harbourview have had the better from the open play in terms of the opportunities, but just not put them away. And this is what can happen when you've wasted your chances. Chambers got a hand to it. He would be disappointed. I don't think there was much spring in his step. And he just sprung off. Got more distance. He could have saved that. It wasn't the best penalty from Fleming. Harbourview living to rue their chances so far, and they trailed this one by a goal to 0.
Not the best penalty, as you said, by Kemar Flemings, but it was just enough on it.
Yeah, it was
for that goal to be given. Went into the back of the net.
If Harbourview are to win this one, Tivoli will be mindful. This team have scored in every game they've played so far this season, but Tivoli's halfway there to winning this one. They too have given up winning positions as well, Tivoli.
Now this opportunity again for Tivoli Gardens. It's still Tivoli. Rashawn Thompson over to Romain Bowers. Very good defensive work by Tyrese Williams. And now it's with Garth Stewart of Harbourview. Williams, not the best pass in the end, and Tivoli Gardens regained possession. Horatio Morgan couldn't find Devroy Gray, and that clearance was last touched by...
I did ask Coach Bernard about playing real holding midfielder in this game. He said he went for the risk. Again, I go back. It was Gray's header that was poor. He headed down and under pressure with the traffic so high on the top of your 18-yard. For a defender, you want to get height or width to give yourself a second chance of clearing your lines, because there wasn't much on the ball in terms of power. He would have had to generate it. And again, they have been caught out by not having really what you think is a proper number 6.
Throw for Harbourview. So Harbourview will be looking to come back into this one. Referee Parchment says that's not the spot where the ball went out, so you'd have wanted to go back a couple steps. Now it's with Kasim Priestley. That was not the best pass, and it's just a seesaw battle for possession. Referee says it's a free kick for Harbourview, and Ludlow Bernard would be at least wanting to go on level terms with Tivoli Gardens before half-time. Ball sent inside but dealt with by Barrington Price. It's still with Harbourview. Jimenez will chase this one down, but referee says it's a throw. And referee Parchment just explaining why Tivoli Gardens have gotten the throw. So a very vocal referee is Parchment. Opportunity that diminished. So it's just a seesaw battle for possession between these two teams, but the all-important stat line is that Tivoli Gardens are leading by a goal to nil. They would go into 4th. So Harbourview would have the better goal difference if it stays this way.
Yes, but yeah, that's very fine margin, and as we know, Harbourview, they do give chances. So this it's a high boot from Priestley. Just not being able to get their passing game going, and I think what is happening here with Tivoli, they have pretty much done well in trying to nullify the play of Harbourview in the middle of the park.
Seems to be a foul, and it is Horatio Morgan that's down on the field. He's inside the 18-yard box.
Yes, Horatio Morgan himself and Rasheen Thompson are the two players who I think they're tucking inside in that 4-man midfield. So you have a look here. Yes, Priestley again a bit clumsy. Yes, trying to go through the player.
He would have to just refocus. Kasim Priestley, a man who normally sits in front, the back four, can play as a fullback. Yes. Priestley, and Horatio Morgan is still down on the field. Jimenez with that clattering collision on Horatio Morgan.
Yeah, and you feel for Harbourview to get a hold on this midfield. The fact that the two wide players, Morgan and Thompson for Tivoli, tucks in and really create 4v3 in the middle of the park. You feel Harbourview may have to have a central player or one of their attacking wide players to join in the middle of the park, or one of their fullbacks to come inside to try and equalize the numbers there, to give themselves increased passing lanes. But at the moment, so often we've seen Priestley and Garth Smith being caught in possession.
So this would be the table as it stands. As I said, Tivoli Gardens would be in 4th position because Harbourview would have a better goal difference. So both would be on 9 points. That ball sent inside the 18-yard box. And DeFord Gray wanted to do better with that one, should have done better with that one.
Yeah, just got over the head of Harding there, and then again Lovell tracked the runner and needed to be, because he couldn't allow him to turn. He took it down in his chest and was just looking to turn and get a shot on goal. Harbourview need to get their attacking play going. Just cannot come out the middle of the park since getting those flurry of chances.
I'm sure they would wish they had gotten those flurry of chances. Here his ball is now over to DeFord Gray. Couldn't find the target man. Zimenez now for Harbourview. Very good interception by Bowers. And again, he couldn't latch on to that one. It goes into touch, and it will be a throw for the Stars in the East. Not shining so far in this game, Dwight.
No, not at all, and they can't wait for their natural time to shine, which Stars tends to come out in the night. This game will be long over before that.
Horatio Morgan for Tivoli Gardens. Still Horatio Morgan sends that one inside, but not a good cross in the end, and Tafari Chambers collects that one, quickly rolls it out to Ordeland Harding. Harding forward to find Russell. That forward to Krista J. Daly. Daly turns, tries to get by Garnett, sends that one inside to try and find maybe Tyrese Williams. Rashawn Thompson loses possession, but he regains it again. Tivoli Gardens, that ball sent across to find DeVroy Gray. It's with DeVroy Gray of Tivoli Gardens. He only has one play inside the 18-yard box, and that is why, but Tafari Chambers collects that one with ease. So still a flurry of chances. And there is a player down for Tivoli. It's a Dean Pennycook. There may have been a collision, but Pennycook, who has been so astute in defense, Dwight, for Tivoli Gardens, he's done a lot of tracking in terms of closing down the spaces pretty quickly, and that's why I gave him some credit, you know, with the Tyrese Williams chances that he has gotten, that Harbourview has gotten. He has closed down the space fairly well, and he has showed some speed in him.
Yeah, he's done well so far in the game. Give him credit where he gets opportunity to really get himself in between his goal and the attacking play. He has done well and has recovered well. They will want to keep him on the park, but you still feel two of those three chances, or three of them that fell to Tyrese Williams, you feel there should have been a better outcome for Harbourview, despite the good work of Pennycook.
At least to put those chances on target. Harbourview for the Stars in the East, Tyrese Williams, but a Dean Pennycook.
Like I say, you have to give Tivoli credit. They have really done well in nullifying Harbourview in the middle of the park.
Foul committed by Pennycook on Russell. Free kick for Harbourview.
And what it has done for Tivoli, getting that early goal, it has allowed them to play slightly different. They're not that as open as they were in the opening 10-15 minutes when Harbourview was getting those chances. And so it's even more difficult for Harbourview.
Ball sent inside, headed out. Aaron Elliott. Some defensive work by Harbourview to get that ball, but it's still with Aaron Elliott.
Harbourview creating a lot of overload Tivoli Gardens on that right side for them.
Shavar Campbell. Sliding challenge by Tyrese Williams. Has done a bit of defensive work, Tyrese Williams. Bowers. Campbell wants to find Elliott. Elliott, former Jamaica College man, did score a hat-trick. He didn't get on the score sheet at all that season until he faced St. Elizabeth Technical. A brilliant work here for Akwasa Chong. And Kewan Watkins had to come out of his 18-yard box, and there was a collision with another former Jamaica College player. And Watkins is still down on the field.
I think he's probably making a lot of it. I don't know if there's a flailing arm, but Akwasa did check his run. It's just the momentum that brought him into him. I don't think there's anything doing there from Chung, so I don't expect any more action from referee Parchment.
Was just a 50-50 collision, I would assume.
Just the momentum, and I expect him to be up. I mean, probably just taking a breather.
Remember, Watkins did somewhat lose his spot in the last few games because he did get a red card. And then, of course, he has retaken his spot in between the sticks. But, of course, the man that did replace him is out injured.
Yeah, it might just be a hand to the... It's I think, just as I said, Akwasa checked his run, just the momentum. And I think Watkins took a breather. That was basically it.
Normally the goalkeeper would normally use that to take a breather. Here is Elliott. Elliott with a chance. Oh, that was very good, very well done in terms of defensive work by Zimenez. That would have gone into the back of the net. So Zimenez doing some very good defensive work. And that was a good ball to Arian Elliott. Very good defensive work done by Tariq Zimenez.
Good defensive recovery run by him. This is your natural right back tucking in to become the centre off at that time because the play went far left.
Another corner for Tivoli Gardens, and Rashawn Thompson couldn't latch onto that one, and he is still down on the field.
As referee obliged to stop the play because it seemed to be head injury. But as I said, I mean, Coach Bernard much realized by now it is all happening down his left side. I mean, Tivoli Gardens creating overload in that particular area and putting Hardin under a lot of pressure. He's known to have a mistake in him, Hardin, throughout the games, and you feel Tivoli would have done their homework, and they're pretty much, you can say, gotten joy from that side of the field.
As we see the collision again, it's Johnny Talbot and Rashawn Thompson. Rasheen Thompson. Thompson was, in fact, a substitute the last game. Him and Horatio Morgan, and now they start.
And they're good value for their start so far.
Right. They've been such a menace on both wings. Zimenez has had some torrid time with Morgan, and of course, Ordelan Harding has had a very bad time with Rasheen Thompson. Throw for Tivoli now. Gray. 3 goals so far this season for Tivoli Gardens. Would want to get his name on the score sheet again in this one. And another free kick, and there is the yellow card for Tariq Zimenez.
Yeah, the youngster there. That's his 3rd card of the season. Did get a red card. I think he's learning on the job. A red card against Dumbarholden.
And there was 2 yellows in that game.
Yes.
Against the Dumbarholden, and now his 3rd.
The youngster that is learning on the job. Good youngster, I think, has a bright prospect. He will want to see this one go by without creating any further damage to the scoreline for Harbourview.
But he's done well for himself, Tariq Zimenez, and had to poke a foot to see that Aaron Elliott opportunity go behind. Now it's a free kick for Morgan, and just over the bar. Tafari James just seen that one through, and it's a goal kick for Harbourview.
And you think Tivoli now will just want to manage this game into the half-time. We're in the 45th minute, and whatever time that referee Parchment will look to play, that's all they have to deal with.
The Gardens have not done bad for themselves in terms of protecting this lead that they do have.
No, they've really, and the bulk of that has come from their work in the middle of the park. They've really stifled this Harbour View attacking, and we see 5 minutes had it on towards the end. I think to do with yes, the hydration break, but also the fact that both goalkeepers went down. I mean, Chambers went down for a while.
And Rashawn Thompson as well did go down for quite a bit, so I'd see why. But Tivoli Gardens, they want to go on the attack, and still they're attacking Harbour View's left side. And they've done so well in terms of regaining possession. Here's Tivoli Gardens now. Campbell. By Tyreek Zimenez. Here's Horatio Morgan. And not the best decision in the end from Garnett. And now it's with Harbour View. Williams trying to find Akwasa Chong, but very good defensive work by Dean Pennycook.
I think Williams missed a trick there again. The pass should have been released a little earlier, just at the point where Chong was on the shoulder of the defender.
Very good sliding challenge. And I know Garth Stewart wanted to get that foul, and he's still down on the field. Kassim Priestley, the man who fouled the Garnett.
Again, Williams at the thick of things.
Russell, Krista J. Daly has been a very impactful player so far this season for Harbour View, but he's not normally having that impactful play this game so far.
Yeah, again, the wavelength with both players, himself and Chung, not on the same page. I think that's something that will have to be dealt with a lot on the training pitch. But for the time being, they'll need to get back into this one.
Have to. They have a couple minutes to go for stoppage time. Harbour View to maybe go into the first half all level, but they keep on giving away possession, Harbour View, and it's still on that Achilles heel, Tivoli may believe.
And part of dealing with a troublesome area as a team is also to keep the ball from that area. And you see Harbour View playing into the hand of Tivoli there, playing to come out on their left side, which is where Tivoli has been dominant. So you can't deal with it in terms of personnel, just keep the ball away as much as possible.
The foul committed by Tyrese Williams on Kimar Fleming's the goal scorer for this game so far. Just under 2 minutes to go. Minimum.
Yeah.
And I know Lou Bernard would not want to hear that one.
I know, but in this occasion, I guess he wouldn't mind it going a little longer, so he could get back into it. It's funny how as coaches we,
Tale of two games, I suppose.
Just feel like it flips the other way. I'd want it, but they say in football it tends to balance itself out.
Then a collision between Tafari Chambers and Devroy Gray. And again, Tafari Chambers down on the field, and that was a hard collision between the two.
Yeah, it wasn't a case of a player just having their momentum. This face, Gray was going for it. Yeah, it was in the hand of Chambers. That was a solid knock.
I tell you, the medical staff for Tivoli Gardens might as well put on a pair of boots. They've been running all game, tending to the players from the Kingston-based club. But Tafari Chambers, I'm sure he's glad to return in between the sticks for Harbour View. But his return has been hard done by a penalty converted by Kimar Flemings. And that's the difference maker so far in this game.
Yeah, initially on that penalty, referee Parchment pointed for a corner kick, but was given some assistance from his assistant referee in Anderson, who informed him that based on the run of play and based on what he saw, it should have been a penalty, and it was awarded. Do you feel it was in the end the right decision taken?
Live video assistant referee, I suppose.
Doing his job.
Not the first time there was a penalty overturned, and that is the end of the first half. Kemar Flemings, the difference maker in this one, converts a penalty that puts Tivoli ahead. So at the end of 45 minutes, the first half has been concluded, and Tivoli Gardens lead Harbour View by a goal to 0.
1-0 for Tivoli Gardens Football Club.
Of the park.
And Tivoli starts things off. Borderland Harding. Chip ball to find Lennox Russell. Defensive work done by Tevin Garnett. Referee says it's a throw for Tivoli. Oh, it's a throw for Harbour View. Mr. J loses it to Pennycook. Palmer. Tyreek Zimenez. Slipped by Akwasa Chong, and Tivoli Gardens do have possession. That ball chipped to Horatio Morgan. Referee says it is a foul.
It is a foul, and if he goes for it again, then that's a second yellow card for Zimenez, and his second.
So Tyrese Zimenez, his fourth yellow card of the season and his second red card of the Jamaica Premier League, powered by Digicel. So Tyreek Zimenez, there we get the confirmation, and Harbour View are now down to 10 men.
Well, if it was to get worse, they made a substitution to bring more stability up front. Now they're going to have to deal with it at the back. He was second best to that one. Chung slipped in and he had to commit because he felt the player was going by him, but just maybe he was out wide, so could have allowed. You could see just checking the player. I think because it was a breakaway, referee Parchment felt.
That ball swung inside the 18-yard box, headed towards goal and collected by Tafari Chambers. That header coming from Devroy Gray. No stranger to headed goals, Devroy Gray. 2 of his 3 goals have been with his head, so here is Thompson. Thompson just trying to have that communication in terms of passing with Bowers, but that goes into touch. Throw for Harbour View. Scott. Referee says it's a foul by Kemar Flemings. The goal scorer. It will be a free kick for Harbour View. So they have to carefully, I think, strategize this contest from now on. They're down to 10 players, Harbour View.
But they're also chasing the game, which is where the conundrum comes.
Ball sent inside the 18-yard box and collected by Watkins. had a little bit of trouble, but
I don't know if it was deliberate from Harding. I don't know if he saw him, Watkins, off his line, but if it was, then we could give him credit for thinking that way. If it wasn't, then it was a poor delivery into the box.
it can go one or two ways, Dwight. One or two ways.
I think he'll take the former, not the latter.
Price. But a Pennycook. Sent over to Campbell, but can keep that one in. It will be a throw, however, to Tivoli Gardens. So now you see a man like a Kwasachang who's very good going forward, dropping deeper now for Harbour View.
And as I said before, earlier in that first half, you needed that to be able to nullify pretty much the numbers up in the middle of the park. It wasn't happening. It's down to 10 players. You suspect they're going to have to be doing that.
Foul committed by Campbell. Free kick for Harbour View.
But so often we've seen teams going down to 10 players really find that resolve, and they dig deeper and they get a performance in there that was better than when even 11 is on the park. So Harbour View will want to do that. That's their only hope here. They have to dig deep.
Of course, we've covered that aspect. I remember Veer United with Dumby Holding. Dumby Holding did go down to 10 players. They did emerge victorious in that one by 2-1. So, wouldn't be the first time this season. Missed it by Tevin Garnett, but it falls to Barrington Price, the captain, who sends that over to Shavar Campbell. Foul committed by Lennox Russell. Free kick for Tivoli Gardens. So, Tivoli Gardens shouldn't rush things, I would presume.
Yeah, and despite being behind, Harbour View also have to be quite measured, because you don't want to be too open and go too far behind. You just have to keep yourself in the game. As long as there's one goal in it, you still have a chance to get something from it.
Borderland Harding over to find Krista J. Daly. He's being hounded by Garnett and Thompson. Couldn't find Tevin Scott. And raises his hand in apology. Tevin Scott, the substitute. Collected by Watkins. Not sure he would necessarily raise his hand.
I think he's saying that he should have made the run into the space in front of him.
Headed on by Talbot. Now it's with Daly. Chest down nicely by Bowers.
Tivoli, with the goal, can seek to control the game. Expect the possession stats to go up for them. They can't be quite careless like they were here now.
Kwasachang against Dean Pennycook, sends it over to Lennox Russell. A shot at goal blocked by Price. Again, the attempt at the defensive clearance. At Harbour View, they do have a throw.
And you suspect they'll be looking to make changes to try and bring some balance back to this team, having lost Ziminage.
Collected by Watkins. Wanted those all day. Towel to Palmer. Sends it back to Priestley. And also we see Priestley drops back in defense, maybe. Ball sent across to try and find Russell, but he's been hounded by Campbell. The referee says no penalty.
And we're not seeing any call from his assistant this time around. So I guess the decision will stand.
Bowers. Over to Fleming. The ball forward wanted to find Gray. Daly loses possession, but he was fouled by Tevin Garnett, and he does receive a yellow card. So Garnett not happy with the decision by referee Daniel Parchment, and it will be another substitution. Krista J. Daly is coming off. So the 13 for the 31.
Yeah, I think they're looking to sacrifice player up front, also to try and make sure that they get balance in this one.
For number 13, Krista J. Daly. number 29, Shane Staple.
So looking to
For
just try and
16, Guard Stewart.
So God Stewart comes off and the Staple comes on. There you see the confirmation of Gerard Neal replacing Krista J. Daly. And of course a Shane Staple coming on for Garth Stewart. Boss it across to try and find a Kwasachong, headed out by Shavar Campbell. Collected by the substitute Neal. Staple ran out of real estate, but it is a throw for Harbourview. Tevin Scott does nicely to get by Pennycook. There's nobody inside the 18-yard box. Now there are players inside. And good defensive work by the captain of Tivoli, Barrington Price.
I think this is Harbourview's first corner of the game, is it?
So they do have an opportunity, Harbourview. They are going forward in this one, but not a good corner in the end. They still have possession. Odeland Harding over to Palmer.
That was a poor corner kick. It didn't get past the first line of defense. That's not how you get back into a game.
Not at all. And Kemar Flemings is down on the field. Devon Gray was protesting to the referee that he should not have called back the play for the free kick. He wanted to go forward and play the advantage, but the referee says it was a foul and ultimately called back the play.
So we've seen a rejinx here for Harbourview. We have Gerald Neal partnering Talbot in the middle there, and we also see that the other substitute in Shane Staple, he's looking to play on that right side where Ziminich was playing, so they're looking to maintain four at the back. Neville Palmer has been pushed into the middle of the park where he has played as a defensive midfielder before, alongside Priestley.
Well, the Bernards certainly wouldn't want to lose this game and have, of course, Tivoli Garden making up some ground. The business end of the season, and as you said that after this game Tivoli will have 4 and Harbourview would have 3. So with a game in hand, and if they do get 3 points in that game in hand, you would see them overtaking Harbourview. So it's a very tricky situation, but Harbourview, of course, if they do get those 3 points, the 3 points in this game, then they'll be just 1 point behind Portmore United and 1 point above Veer.
That's a long way off though, based on the situation, a goal behind and down a player.
Damian Parchment just telling Bowers to leave the ball alone. Palmer. Still Palmer, a shot at goal. Wide. Way over the target. And we see Palmer switching sometimes with Kasim Priestley, so he's more advanced.
Yeah, it's 2 of them alongside in front of that back 4, but you do get as a pivot who goes forward. On that occasion it was Palmer. Probably not the best decision to shoot at goal from there.
Palmer, an experienced player.
It could be seen as a 4-1, 3-1 or
Russell. Sent across, wanted to find a Kwasachong. Nicely done by Campbell. Now it's with Morgan. Campbell can attack that left before Tivoli decides to go in the middle. And find Carnett, who then finds Flemings, is very advanced. Russell and the Danian Parchment do have the advantage, or calls the advantage. Russell turns. Defensive work by Pennycook. Ball chipped across to a fine Ordeland Harding. It is Harding for Harbourview. Sent inside the 18-yard box, dealt with by Price. Harding again, sent inside once more, but Too much for Tevin Scott.
No, there's just too much on that one. Went over every player, including Tivoli Gardens player.
Of course, Akwasa Chang would want to do more in this game. He has been making some runs, but not been receiving the ball, and has been made to work a lot so far.
Yeah, I don't know if he has ever even had a shot on goal yet in this one.
He hasn't. That's something you don't see every day. Harding sending that one across, trying to find Scott, but instead finds Palmer, who lays it off for Akwasa Chang, a shot inside. What a brilliant goal! And that's the equalizer. We did speak about Akwasa Chang and his impact. And look at that bang. And that is the equalizer. It's Harbourview 1, Tivoli 1.
You don't give him that type of chance in the box, and as you see, rubbing that boot off, because yes, it is a golden boot as much as the colour is black. But trust me, it's a player who, when he gets into those areas, there's just one thing on his mind. We just mentioned that he's not had a shot on target, and such is his efficiency that he gets his first chance, his first opportunity. And Lavelle Palmer, again, we spoke about the shot he took earlier, wasn't the best decision made. This time he corrected that, and he set up his more prolific partner in Chung, and he made Tivoli paid. That's his 5th goal for the season, and leading the Golden Boot so far. A young man making the transition to the Premier League and doing so seamlessly, even when you look in the goals column.
One star has shined dimmed out, but the rest of the stars shine bright, and one of them that shone the brightest in that situation was Akwasa Chang. And in the words of Donald Oliver, cha-ching ching for Chang, that was very well done. A very good finish, and you have to give some credit to Lavelle Palmer. Saw the run of Akwasa Chang and just laid it off for him. Knew that the shot was not the best decision. And Rasheen Thompson sends that one inside for Devroy Gray. He turns and finds Horatio Morgan. And wide of the target. This has turned out to be a very good second half so far.
It was Priestley, I think, who blocked that shot to prevent it from going on goal. But we mentioned it as well earlier too. I did say, as we have a look here on that opportunity for Tivoli Gardens.
Very well done. Turns and tries to find.
It was Priestley who
he did give away that one, but a corner for Tivoli Gardens again. Defensive effort by Kasim Priestley again. Just bullies Devroy Gray off the ball, but Devroy Gray has it for Tivoli Gardens again, and Horatio Morgan, who has been a nuisance for that Harbourview defense, wasn't able to get a shot on target. Ball sent across to try and find Akwasa Chang, and realizes that he doesn't have Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo speed, and he couldn't connect with that one.
I tell you too, in the interview we did ask the coaching staff from Tivoli Gardens, how do you get 2 goals today? Because I suspect you would need 2 goals to beat Harbourview, because they score every time they play. And we did expect that trend to continue. And here we are at that stage of the script, that Tivoli, if they're going to win this, will definitely have to score at least 2 goals. But Harbourview does have different ideas. And we talk about how often you see 10 men find the resolve to get back in it. They have done so now. And credit to the coaching staff. They have made the changes. Rejinks kept the back 4. And the changes they've made with Lavelle pushing higher, Priestley sitting deeper, is definitely a case in which it has paid off.
Paid off indeed. Akwasa Chang has come up chumps for Harbourview, at least so far, and has gotten that equalizer. Now, the last time a team has gone behind with 10 men and have been trailing, they end up winning the game. And then, as I mentioned, the Dunby Holding game that they did play against Vere United.
Yes, and yeah, the Harbourview will definitely be holding on to that ray of hope. But referee Parchment telling Harding that he has no more apologies left in his bank.
not afraid to caution a player, of course. That 2 yellow card by Damian Harding. A shot at goal by Akwasa Chong and collected by Watkins. And Akwasa Chong is feeling it now.
Yeah, definitely 2 shots on target. And he's the player, though, you can say, okay, you get into that position, shoot, have a go, have a good shot on him. You don't want Palmer to be necessarily doing that. So 5 goals for the season, confirmed there for the number 22 here, the marksman for Harbour View, leading the line very well.
Former Jamaica College man.
Yes, and doing the business at the high end.
Oh, he has so far 5 goals so far this season. 8 goals now between him and Krista J. Daly, so you don't have Krista J on the field. Who do you turn to?
Well, you have Scott out there who have found the back of the net, I think, so far this season. So he's a player that will always provide a threat for Harbour View. And he plays the link-up play ball as well.
DeVroy Gray for Tivoli Gardens. Got by a Johnny Talbot, but the ball just left him. And it goes behind, and it will be a goal kick for Harbour View. So Harbour View, even though they're down to 10 men, you would think that the momentum is now back in their favour. And the Stars of the East will be looking to get 3 points, maybe. Do have some time left to get that go-ahead goal. But they would have a man like a Dean Pennycook to contend with. Here's Lennox Russell. It's Lennox Russell. Turns and finds Tevin Scott. Scott over to Akwasa Chong, the goal scorer. So Akwasa Chong versus Barrington Price. Price won that battle.
Scott was looking for that ball from Chong. He wanted it to play him in, and it's a simple ball. You felt that he should have just played to Scott, because at his first fake Chong, the defender was flat-footed, and at that point needed to play in Scott.
Scott now shot at goal, wide of the target, and Harbour View now they're the ones that are pressing.
Yes. They're looking to really go into the ascendancy. And like I've said, they've done well so far this season. This is the 4th time they've gone behind this season. And 2 out of the previous 3 occasions, they came back to get a point. They're looking to try and get all 3 today. We see a substitution coming up for Tivoli Gardens.
Yes, it's Rashane Thompson that will be making his way off the field, and Anthony Nelson will be making his way on the field.
Thompson have done fairly well, you feel, for Tivoli, especially in the first half. Like I said, it's one of the players who tucked in and really helped Tivoli stifle the Harbour View midfield in the first half.
It's actually Clinton Ashley that is making his way for Rashane Thompson. And then, of course, Romain Bowers coming off for Tivoli Gardens. And the man Jermaine Teddy Johnson making his way onto the field. So it's a triple substitution for Coach Philip Williams. And it seems to be Horatio Morgan that, oh no, it actually is Aaron Elliott that'll be coming off in this one.
He's looking to freshen things up, to put pressure on this 10-man Harbour View, who have run their course, you feel. And they're looking to really get into the ascendancy. And with Teddy Johnson, they feel they have a player who can really give them that.
Not as speedy as he once was, Jermaine Teddy Johnson, but he would want to have those opportunities again for Tivoli Gardens. But he doesn't need that much speed. DeVroy Gray is there. Here is Tevin Scott for Harbour View. Garnett. Find Johnson. Johnson loses it. Now it's with Lavelle Palmer. Lavelle Palmer for Harbour View. That's not a bad ball. And again, Tafari Chambers was caught in no man's land. A shot blocked by Kemar Flemings. And the 2 players down on the field for Harbour View. So Harbour View really had an opportunity in that one. Lavelle Palmer, a very good run from the number 44, the experienced player. Very good ball. Forward to find Lennox Russell.
just a little bit on it too much in terms of the weight of the pass. But again, give him credit. He's played a central defence. He's played holding midfield. Now he's looking to be that creative spark for Harbourview, and his experience coming to the fore for Harbourview. And you look and you see the value of having experience mixed in with youth here, because he's certainly delivering on that front for Harbourview here, especially in the second half, and especially when they're down to 10 players.
Well, Lavelle Palmer does have an assist so far in this game, so we know that he can create some of those opportunities, and his decision making as we see his transition from the defense into the middle of the park. So
again, as I said, Lavelle doing very well for his team, and you feel the omens are in favour of Harbourview, Chris. From where my stats are concerned, with my producers not suggesting, but stating the fact that on all 3 occasions that team have gone down to 10 players, they have been the ones scoring the next goal after that, and Harbourview continuing that trend here today, they would want to do one better and to go on and win this one. But I'm pretty sure Tivoli is in no mood to make that easy for them. And this might be a problem for Harbour. They've drawn 3 games so far this season, and you feel they want to convert some of these drawn games into wins.
Of course. Would it be a case though, Dwight, in terms of being too relaxed for these teams that have the numbers game?
Sometimes that's the case with coaches, and being a coach myself. The team just feel, okay, we have the extra man, so we're going to dominate this game. And that's just that drop off in intensity, and the lift by the team down to 10, knowing that they have to work harder because they have a disadvantage with a player less. Those are the 2 things you think combining to make that the case. We see a substitution for Harbourview, Lavelle Palmer coming out, and I think that would be a forced one for them. And you see within their heading shirt, very disappointed, and we will wait to hear the extent of his injury. But coming in for him is Sean Daly.
Not a good sign for Harbourview. Rocking the back with Johnny Talbot, very versatile player. Is Lavelle Palmer. Here is Tivoli Gardens now. Jermaine Johnson over to Horatio Morgan. Did get by the substitute, Shane Staple, but the referee says there was no infringement. It will be a goal kick for Harbourview. Not the best situation in terms of what Lavelle Palmer adds to.
We see them applying ice to him. Not sure in nature, but as we said, we'll learn more later. But certainly a player that they will miss in this game, and let alone in the middle of the park. You're talking in the game as a whole. He has been a leader for them. He doesn't wear the captain's armband, but he's certainly one of the leaders in this Harbourview setup.
Oh, definitely. Of course, we know that Johnny Talbot is the captain, but he does sometimes dictate the defensive stability. Ball chipped inside the 18-yard box, and an opportunity for Barrington Price to put Tivoli Gardens back ahead.
I think you have to give young Gerald Neal a lot of credit. He really used his body well too, and just checked the runner. And that's what you have to do as a defender. Sometimes not necessarily winning the ball, but just ensuring that you provide enough obstacle for the attacker.
As the rains come down in this contest, it's still Tivoli Gardens
I think the players will welcome this downpour. It's been really shearing heat before, and the turf, as they've complained about the heat coming off it, I'm pretty sure in this stage of the game too, in the 73rd minute, they could well do with some cooling down. The game, I don't think the game will cool down in terms of the plays.
Of course, an exciting game so far, tale of two halves. Now it's with Harbour View, sent inside the 18-yard box, couldn't find anybody but the Tivoli Gardens captain. Clinton Ashley. That was a wayward pass by Ashley, the substitute. Harding just sent it across to his goalkeeper, Tafari Chambers. Neil, his ball intercepted by Ashley, but he does regain possession for Harbour View. It's just possession stats is 50-50, even between the two teams. And referee Parchment just trying to be the mediator between Neil and Fleming.
I think Neil just laid it on the ball, just got a little piece of it, and could have gotten a yellow card there. Just game management there from referee Parchment. But that's one thing, a feature of Gerald Neal Jr.'s play. He definitely have a rash challenge in him, like to go to ground.
And we see another yellow card in this game from referee Daniel Parchment. It seems to be Fleming's, and also,
is it Russell or Harding?
I'm not sure. But there's some ruffling of the feathers.
And Fleming really didn't take kindly to the challenge from.
And again, it's still some. And again, it's a yellow card. So initially, Jermaine Teddy Johnson did not get the yellow card. So I'm still trying to figure out who. Maybe Lennox Russell.
I think Fleming got a yellow card.
Yes, Fleming's did.
Jermaine Johnson.
So
it was clear he got one.
That confirmation, Jermaine Teddy Johnson getting that yellow card, and referee Daniel Parchment just telling Tamar Flemings and why he cautioned the player, the man who scored for Tivoli Gardens, and that was the confirmation of the caution. So the referee just...
And Lennox Russell, yes is the other player who we suspected got that yellow card, as we thought.
I was wondering who else got the yellow card. It was just a flurry of players inside that environment. So there we get the confirmation.
It's not quite Christmas or anything, but Daniel Parchment here, he's looking to control this game, and I feel a flurry of cards will calm things down.
You want to assert your authority.
Yes, and I think players on the cards will draw back memory to cards shown to Zimenez, that he's not reluctant to show the card if he thinks it's necessary. No hesitation will come from him. He is a FIFA referee.
They would have to be careful. So two Tivoli players did receive yellow cards, and Lennox Russell. So those three players would have to be careful not to get a second caution. Here is Ordelan Harding. Ordelan Harding sends it over to Sean Daly, but the referee says it is in fact an offside, and it will be a free kick for Tivoli Gardens. So Russell, a very good decision by coach Ludlow Bernard to take out the man who has been cautioned, and Philip Williams will be looking to retake the lead, but Lennox Russell, he is coming off, and it seems to be Ronaldo Robinson, former Kingston College player. He's going to be making his way onto the field.
I think Coach Bernard here is looking to get some fresh legs on up front and to really stretch this Tivoli defence. They have been at it, they've been decent, Tivoli, but he just wants to give them something to think about. Have the pace, Robinson, to run in behind, and he could isolate a few defenders and create holes for runners like Scott and Chong to get into.
I can tell you that Ronaldo Robinson really creates that relief for players, as we see Horatio Morgan on to Jermaine Teddy Johnson, and the Tivoli Gardens have an opportunity, but a very good defensive work by Kasim Priestley, and it will be a corner for Tivoli Gardens. So Tivoli had an opportunity there.
In the scheme of things where the game has gotten, as we see this opportunity coming across. dangerous play from Johnny Talbot there, because with your arms wrapped around the attacker, you're giving the referee a decision to make, and you don't want to do that.
Right. It was very good for Teddy Johnson to really see that danger ball inside the 18-yard box. There is a foul on a
collision of heads there.
I'm telling you, these medical staff can lace up a pair of boots.
He said they've earned their due today.
They have. I'm telling you, they've answered the call quite quickly, and they're not slow to the duty.
No, and you want that, especially with the head injuries. As you see here,
collision. Wow. And it seems to be Barrington Price along with Gerard Neither, Harbourview substitute, and that's not good at all.
You expect some force in that. They're two big players.
Oh yeah. And you'd have to do some concussion protocol.
Good to see that they're both good and going well. Neil was good from the start. And Price now good to continue.
Price is okay. He's a tough fellow. And the rains continue to pour here at the Captain Horace Burrell Centre of Excellence. 1-1 between these two teams. Alexander. Ball sent inside to find Jermaine Teddy Johnson. Too much on it. Now it's with Akwasa Chong of Harbourview. Still Chong sent forward to try and find Ronaldo Robinson, and does. He has Pennycook to fend off, and Pennycook doing some defensive work as usual.
Yeah, Pennycook just had an extra yard on him. He needed to make that challenge. Cannot afford for Robinson to get away from him.
Harbourview with the attack. Robinson. Priestley takes a shot at goal. Was never going to trouble Watkins. Goal kick for Tivoli Gardens.
Had a shaky first half, Priestley, but has come into his own into the second half. And it's really contributed to Harbourview staying in this game. In fact, join level, because he did provide a platform for Lavelle Palmer to go forward by sitting deep and looking to protect the back four.
Flemings. Ball sent across. Finds Prela Alexander. Sent inside the 18-yard box. Defensive work done by Staple.
That was good tracking again. Good shifting from the Harbourview defense. And the Staple in that position was acting as a central defender.
Referee, there was a call for an appeal.
I think Lane and Parchment just suggesting there that there was nothing doing on that occasion. You feel it will resume with a drop ball to Tivoli Gardens.
Shane Staple was the man down. And he's up now, he's okay. That ball sent inside again. This is two clattering challenges from Teddy Johnson and Horatio Morgan. So it will be a drop ball. Just under 9 minutes to go. I know both teams wouldn't want to share the spoils, of course. This fella Alexander keeps that ball in play, the referee says. Still Alexander, he's been hounded by Ordeland Harding. Ordeland Harding doing some good defensive work there. And a very good tackle. The referee says it's a through for Harbourview, so very well done by Ordeland Harding. And again, in these, as we see another opportunity, and Jermaine Teddy Johnson, a miss kick there by the experienced forward. So
you would have put your money on him to score all day long.
Definitely.
If he not only has he lost some pace, but sharpness as well, you feel. Because you would expect him to really test Chambers.
Price. Kwasachang over to Ronaldo Robinson. Harbourview going forward. Robinson to Scott. Stretches and collects the ball. Back to Ronaldo Robinson, over to Tevin Scott. This is not bad from Harbour View. Sent inside the 18-yard box and dealt with by Q1 Watkins.
Yeah, Harbour View just not having the numbers in attack to really take advantage of that minor spill from Watkins.
Alexander sent inside, trying to find Devroy Gray. Now it's with Akwasa Chong of Harbour View. And not the best pass in the end from the man who scored the equalizer for Harbour View today.
I think they'll be better served to have Scott dropping a little bit deeper, Chong going further up the park. Scott is a better ball handler, you think, to Chong.
Opportunity now for Tivoli Gardens is with Horatio Morgan. Still with Horatio Morgan. And an opportunity still for Tivoli Gardens. But that opportunity was wasted. Now it is with Harbour View. Akwasa Chong. He was just taken off the ball, but the referee says it was a foul on the player.
Some felt he was just too lazy with his pass. There's attempt. Might just have been bailed out, do you think, by referee Parchmenter?
Seems to be another substitution. Horatio Morgan, he is coming off. As we see the opportunity again, just wanted to poke that forward to Tevin Scott.
I think the ball was gone already, and Chong is quite fortunate to have gotten that call.
So it seems to be Dasha Satchwell that will be coming on for Horatio Morgan, as Morgan makes his way off the field. Didn't have a bad outing, Horatio Morgan, but Satchwell may be looking to make a difference. However, it's a free kick for Harbour View. Priestley still looking for options. Priestley inside.
Poor delivery there from Harbour View.
Garnett. That ball sent forward for Jermaine Teddy Johnson, but he has a Shane Staple for chase. The referee says no foul. And Jermaine Teddy Johnson, and just had to fire that one behind for a corner to Fari Chambers.
Audacious effort there from Teddy Johnson. It was an acute angle. He felt he just wanted to embarrass Chambers there. He still be ruining his missed opportunity where he had a kick and miss.
And another corner kick for Tivoli Gardens. Shavar Campbell taking this one. And some defensive work done by Tevin Scott. And the only man out there is Ronaldo Robinson, but he does have Tevin Scott right there and sends it to Akwasa Chong. It is about 3 against 5 and sends that one inside. Good goalkeeping effort from Q1 Watkins.
All that needed was a better delivery. Just need quality on the end of that from Chong. I felt he just put that one into the box. Didn't really try to pick out the player.
That was a very good opportunity. Akwasa Chong.
Game really stretched now. Both teams, give them credit, looking for the winner.
Harbour View still have possession. Kasim Priestley. And that player was fouled. And it is Sean Daly, the substitute. It will be a free kick for Harbour View.
You feel there's going to only be one candidate to take this one. Probably more than likely Chong. In this weather here, to see if he can test the handling of Watkins, and see the infringement there on Sean Daly.
Looking to take this one from distance, Akwasa Chong, but there are a couple players over it. We see Ordeland Harding as we see the wall being built. See Ordeland Harding, Kasim Priestley, and Akwasa Chong. I think that Akwasa Chong would take it from here. Free kick, laser focused. Kwasachang for Harbour View. And attempted to go under the wall, but
the wall didn't jump as much as to give him the room.
Not at all. Opportunity now. It's Termine Teddy Johnson for Tivoli Gardens. Sends that one inside the 18-yard box. An opportunity for Tivoli Gardens. That is the second goal for Tivoli. And Asfrella Alexander, the substitute, puts Tivoli back ahead. Mix up in communication with the goalkeeper and the defender. And it presented that opportunity on a silver platter. So Tivoli Gardens, they're leading by 2-1.
It was a pour from the goalkeeper here. He needed to take that one. And from bringing Chambers back in for a safe pair of hands. Missing last week. Really didn't cover himself in glory there. And you would expect your goalkeeper to deal with that one. And you felt for a moment there the substitute would have made a meal of it. In the end, it seemed to be the winner.
The 89th minute, Asfrella Alexander again dims the light of the stars of the East. But they're not to be outdone. There's still a little bit of time left, and anything can happen. Here's a Kwasachang over to Ordeland Harding. Harbour View, and a shot wide of the target, and the two players, Ronaldo Robinson and Tevin Scott, not happy with Harding's decision.
Wouldn't be pleased there. He had two players to aim for in the box. Again, tight angle to try and score from, and never really looked like scoring from that angle. And really, on that occasion, down to the decision making there, Coach Bernard wouldn't be pleased, and not looking pleased with the result for sure. And he's certainly opening the door for a mad rush to the finish line for a top 6 position.
As we did say, it would be level on points, Harbour View and the Tivoli Gardens, but Tivoli would have a 0 goal difference and Harbour View would have +2, so they would be ahead on goal difference, but both would be on 9 points.
It's really tight, but and also remembering Tivoli, they do have a game in hand,
right? And
as such, Harbour View making hard work of the situation. We see 4 minutes of time added on here, and on this occasion I felt Coach Bernard would want the minutes to go much longer than 4. I think you look at it, he scored a go-ahead goal, did Fleming, and has been good in defence as well.
He's been everywhere on the field. Kemar Flemings is the vice captain, the fullback. Now it's with DeFroy Gray. He was cut offside.
I think referee Parchment is going for he was playing the advantage. I felt there was an infringement before, and the substitute for Harbour View being shown the yellow card there.
That's a Shane Staple.
Shane Staple.
He was the one that fouled us for Alexander, the man who has scored the go-ahead goal for Tivoli Gardens. As you see the foul again, sliding challenge from Staple. It didn't get the ball any at all, so that's the reason for the caution. And again, you'd have to be careful. You wouldn't want to lose another player. We've had your starting fullback, one of your starting fullbacks gone. You wouldn't want another player to be sent off as well. Satchwell over to Flemings. Tivoli Gardens. Referee says that ball did go into touch. It will be a throw for Harbour View.
I suspect we're going to get more than 4 minutes in this one because there was some stoppage there on the infringement by Staple.
slipping his daily. So the rain has made it better in terms of temperature, but it's been a bit more slippery. Again, they're just looking to find that equalizer maybe. Wouldn't want a team like Tivoli to creep upon them at all.
Listen, is Harbourview to be the team this week to score the late winner? They were the ones on the receiving end last week when they conceded late against Portmore. Can they reverse it this time around and be the ones to inflict a similar pain on Tivoli in this one?
We see two players over this one. It's Ordelan Harding and Kasim Priestley. Maybe the goal is to swing the ball inside, not necessarily go after goal.
Yes, normally from this side we've seen Harbourview just side of the parallel to the 18-yard. They normally just serve it into that space where the goalkeeper, just in front of the goalkeeper.
Ball swung inside the 18-yard box and dealt with by Barrington Price. They still have possession. Harbourview will be looking to get that equalizer. Just above possession between Priestley and Gray. Ball sent forward to find Jermaine Teddy Johnson. And it was nipped off the ball for a second, but now it's with Asfrel Alexander, the goal scorer for Tivoli Gardens. An opportunity. Devroy Gray sends it to Alexander. An opportunity again! And that's the double for Alexander. What an impact this player has been. That was exquisitely done. Very well done. And they have pushed themselves further ahead. It's done and dusted here. And Philip Williams, as he says, it's one Gardens, Tivoli Gardens.
And it's one winner today, and it's certainly Tivoli. They've certainly sealed that. And Harbourview chasing for the equalizer, being stretched, and Tivoli is definitely the team that deserve the victory today.
Very well done by Devroy Gray to see the run of Alexander, laid it off for Alexander, and a very good left-footed finish. So at the end of 90 minutes, Tivoli Gardens, they won by 3-1 against Harbourview. What an end to the first game of a Matchday 7 here at the Captain Horsburgh Centre of Excellence. And what an impact that man Alexander has had. And again, Shane Staple was caught out. So at the end of the game, the first match has concluded here at the Captain Horsburgh Centre of Excellence for Matchday 7. And it's a double from Alexander and a penalty from Kemar Flemings that gave Tivoli Gardens this 3-1 win.